Hey everybody, it's Jason with Heap of Jeep. The other day I got a Facebook message from a young lady who just bought her first Cherokee, and she was telling me in the message that her husband isn't very good with the tools. So she's going to have to learn how to take care of her own vehicle. And specifically asked me for an oil change video, and I was just going to send her a link to one, and I realized, you know what? I have never videotaped myself changing the oil on my Cherokee. So I needed to do it today anyways. I'm going on a road trip tomorrow, and wanted to change it before I went on that long drive. So I'll run the camera here and get you an oil change video and put this under my general maintenance. So I actually just got home from work. On the way home I stopped at the store and got all the oil change stuff so the engine's nice and warm, and let me get things set up and we'll go change some oil.
Now, it's not absolutely necessary to get in here and jack the vehicle up. If you're skinny enough, you can fit underneath it without jacking it up. I did it just so I had a little extra room because, well, I'm a big guy. First thing we need to do is take the old oil out. This is a 14mm wrench. You could use a socket. Make sure you are getting the oil pan and not the transmission pan. And then have a catch pan underneath. All you do is loosen it up. Now my oil's a little warm because I just got back from work. I stopped at the store and picked up all the supplies for the oil change. So that's actually a good thing to do. You want the oil to be mixed up because then more stuff is suspended in it. And then when you drain it, you get more crap out. So just be careful because it's going to be a little hot if you've been driving it. And your exhaust is going to be hot and you're working right next to that. So just be careful. But you want to get this bolt out, and then when you get it out, the oil's just going to come pouring out. Make sure your catch pan is underneath, and there we go. And while that's draining, we'll go take care of the oil filter and then come back and put the plug back in. Okay, so right next to the dipstick, which is this right here, and straight down, you're going to see this large cylindrical object. That is your oil filter. And on the Cherokee, it's pretty dang easy to reach. I like going at it from up above. You could go at it from underneath. Now, there is a plug here. This is your oil pressure sending unit. And it's probably best if you unplug that. Now mine is a little glitchy. I hate doing it because it needs to be replaced because the plug is so messed up. But I'm going to do it just to show you what it looks like, and you just set it out of the way and then you don't have to worry about it. It got messed up probably from people not taking it off and moving it out of the way and then going in and trying to get the oil filter off. I like using these kind of, it's an oil filter wrench, but it's really like just a big pair of pliers. And it just fits around the oil filter, and then you turn it lefty-loosey. There's a bunch of different kinds. Just pick the one that you like the best. I like these because it works on all the different size oil filters I have on all the different size vehicles that I have in my driveway. So, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, make sure your catch pan is underneath where the oil filter goes to, because I'm dripping it on my garage floor. My wife's not going to be happy. There we go. And you just unscrew it till it comes off. It's full of oil, so just be careful. So if you tip it over the other way, all the oil is going to pour out. Okay, so here's the new oil filter. Bright and shiny. And one of the things I'm going to do is take some of the new oil I have, stick my finger in there and get it oily. Yes, it's a dirty job. somebody's got to do it. And then I'm going to put that oil right around this seal. Put a little bit on the threads. But you want to get this rubber ring. It will just make it easier getting it off in the future. If you put that oil on the seal, it just won't bind up and just make life a little easier for you. Then all you're going to do is go down and screw the new one on where the old one unscrewed. After it gets nice and snug, I like to do it only hand tight, but I also consider myself fairly strong. If you don't consider yourself fairly strong, you could take your oil filter wrench, put it on there, and give it, you just want it snug. You don't want it tight, just snug. And then if it's leaking after you fill it with oil and run the engine, you can always snug it up more. But if you snug it up too much now, you can do damage to the filter, to the oil filter adapter, and to the threads on the filter. You just don't do it. It will make life more difficult for you. Now, with the oil filter in place, I'm going to take our sending unit plug and plug it back in. And again, hopefully it didn't mess with my gauge too much. My plug is actually messed up. The wire is, so that's why I don't like unplugging it myself. I can work around it, but it's easier if you do. Once all the old oil is out, then we can just come in here and put the plug back in. Snug her down. You don't want to go too tight, just snug. If you go too tight, you could really screw yourself up, and you'd have to get a whole new oil pan, and dropping that is not something that is fun to do. So just snug is all you need. Okay, this is your oil filler cap. One of the things you want to check when you open it up is what the old oil looks like. This is pretty much what you want to see. Mine's actually a little dirty. I haven't changed my oil often enough. But what you don't want to see is something that looks like chocolate milk or a chocolate milk shake or anything like that, because that would imply that there is a liquid besides oil, something water-based, getting into your engine. Usually it implies a cracked head, a blown head gasket, a cracked block, and you're getting coolant in there. Over the winter, I was running into problems with it being so cold here in Michigan that the engine was condensing inside, and I was getting just a little bit of that milkshaky look, and it was freaking me out. I thought I had a head gasket problem. More than likely I have something wrong with the vents on top of the valve cover here, but I'm not going to worry about those today. Right now I'm going to fill this with oil. The oil that I like for the Jeeps is Rotella. It's made by Shell. It is a diesel oil, but from what I've read, this stuff was pretty much made for these engines, these straight 6 4-liter engines. I found a write-up on a Jeep forum, a Cherokee forum, all about Rotella and why it might be the best. And depending on what vehicle you're doing, if you're not doing a Jeep, there's probably write-ups all over the internet about what oil your vehicle likes the best. But for my Jeep, this is what I go with. Going into spring and summer, I'll go with the T5, which is a 10W30. In the winter, fall and winter, when it's getting colder, I'll go with a 5W30, the T6. But here we go. We're going to fill it up till it's full. For this Jeep, I believe I think I use a full 5 quarts on this particular vehicle. It's right there at the top of the safe line. So that is what I want to see. Alright, so there we go. Let's start it and take a listen.
an FBI agent who testified under oath at the trial on Wednesday. But again, he endorsed Obama, not Romney. Obama.
I'm not hearing any clunking, clinking, anything like that. Now let's look underneath, make sure nothing's dripping. And I am not seeing any drips or anything, so there we go. So then you just want to take all your old oil and dump it, you know, use a funnel and a helper if you need them, but dump it into the container you just got to fill it in. Generally, what you take out of your engine and is in the catch pan will be what you put in. So there we go. As you can see, not too much into it. Just make sure you get the right oil. I will try to find the link to that article I mentioned, or the forum page that talks about Rotella and why the Cherokee engine, the 4.0, really likes the Rotella diesel oil. And I'll put that in the description below the video. So please subscribe to the Heap of Jeep channel. We've got more XJs coming. We got one more XJ coming, and then at some point we're going to be adding a I don't know, a YJ or a TJ, some kind of Wrangler is going to be joining the Heap of Jeep family too. So lots more repair videos coming up. I say repair because you deal with me, someone who's not a mechanic, trying to fix things, but hopefully it's helping you out.